Good morning, everybody. This is Catman Phoenix, episode 3. Emotional whiplash. Friedrich Nietzsche made the observation that if you stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss will stare back at you. And I understand that. One day you're living your life and everything's normal and you're going about your activities like crazy, and all of a sudden you encounter a life-threatening situation where your very existence is in question. Some type of a medical trauma that calls into question whether or not you're going to live or die. You make it through it and then, boom, you're back to your day-to-day living again. Wow. Every facet of your being just goes through this whiplash experience. I've particularly noticed it in my emotional self. My emotions have been all over the place. Emotional whiplash. Wham, 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 wham. I've had every feeling a human being can feel in the last couple of weeks. So here I am. I'm getting ready to start another day's work. And I'm yearning for a bit of stabilization and balance. And I'm thinking about a strategy, things that I can do to help attain that type of homeostasis in my day-to-day living as I move forward here with a new lease on life and another 10 years to do whatever I choose to do, more or less. So one of the things I decided I was going to do was to set up a computer journaling system that I would break into various categories so I could keep check on myself and my focus and my balance, and provide myself with a means of evaluating if I was staying on track in terms of my own personal goals and aspirations and directions that I want to move in. Now, it's real simple. I'm going to set up a Word document with the words physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, financial, and spiritual on them. And then on a daily basis, I'll add in my thoughts and observations on how I'm doing in those categories. Given the whole whack of new heart medications that I'm now supposed to eat for the rest of my life, and which I have purchased and have begun doing, I'll make sure I'm taking my meds. That's one good way of keeping track of that particular discipline. It's time to add some actual exercise back into my daily living. It's something that's always made me feel good about myself and helped my body out a lot in the past when I've done it. I'm a very active person given the nature of my work. As a pest management specialist, I'm always walking, crawling, climbing, and it's good for me. But some focused exercise, some sit-ups and push-ups and whatever else I want to include into the grab bag is something that I want to add to the equation. I need to pay more attention to my diet, and I'll start making notes in that regard. Try to eat as healthy as I can. In terms of the mental aspects of myself, I really like to evaluate the way that my mind is working in terms of clarity and the type of thoughts that I'm having and the attitudes that I'm carrying with me on a daily basis. And my focus. Focus is important to me. It's where all the power is. It's so easy to get distracted in this world of ours. Things coming at us left, right, and center. And if you don't put conscious effort into maintaining a focus, you're never going to accomplish anything. You know? So I'm big on focus. Intellectually, there's things that I want to study and learn more about. And this will be a way of tracking if I'm indeed doing that. I like to evaluate the effectiveness of my studies and make sure that I'm developing in a way that's acceptable to me. This is most often demonstrable by the quality of expression that I'm exhibiting at any given time, whether that's verbally or in my written work. And I'll keep an eye on that and make sure my quality of expression is an indicator of the body of knowledge that I'm possessing and carrying around at any given moment on any given day. When that starts to waver or get flaky, I need to ask myself why and bring myself back on track one way or another. Financially, pay attention to my debt, my budget, and my income levels, and taxes, and savings, and goals, and things of that nature. Just standard stuff that I habitually tend to ignore to my own detriment. So I'll get back on track with writing that stuff down and trying to bring that team of wild horses under control. And then the biggest category of all probably is the spiritual category. It just encompasses everything, really. My creativity is an important aspect of my spiritual self, and the discipline of writing and creating these videos and doing other things like I've talked about doing, and I already have began the creation of a website to house all of my writing and promote myself as a person available to do speaking engagements on various topics or for various purposes. That's underway, and I need to follow through and get that operational, and I will do so. Using this electronic journal is going to be a great way of keeping myself in check, In a world with 7.3 billion people in it, one would think that we'd be overwhelmed with people, but the fact of the matter is each of us are living a somewhat lonely existence. We walk alone, we think alone, we feel alone. It's like pain, whenever you're in pain, that is entirely yours. No matter how much you would love to share your pain with another human being, it's very difficult to do. And no matter how much you would like to relieve another individual of the pain they're feeling and take some of it onto yourself, it's very difficult to do. So we walk alone. We come into this world alone, we walk alone, and we die alone in many ways. Okay? I'm not discounting the opposite side of that coin, in which I often state that we're all in this thing together and everything's connected. They're both simultaneously true. It's the paradox of life that we all grapple with. In our quietest hours, in those stillest moments, we have to accept the fact that sometimes we are alone. And we have to take responsibility for that aloneness and the direction we want to take. So for me, spirituality encompasses my creativity, meditation practices, my overall level of self-discipline, and that's what I'm describing here. A plan, a method whereby I can keep myself on track spiritually, Love. Am I loving people? Am I including people in this experience of life that I'm having, Am I trying to be exclusive? Am I being a hermit and cutting myself off from the world? Or am I including all of you? Am I walking the walk, talking the talk? That's important to me. That gets coupled with the whole idea of authenticity and being as real as I possibly can at every given moment of my day and my life and my existence. There just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of value to me in being some phony son of a bitch out there spewing a bunch of bullshit, either about myself or my accomplishments or my state of being or anything. It's all about being real. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do. And it's not a constant. We fluctuate. We fluctuate the things we think and feel and say and talk about, and these things are not a constant. They're all different variations of energy, and the strength and power and magnitude of those energies fluctuate. That's a reality. Authenticity does not mean being exactly the same every single minute of the day. Maybe what it means to me is trying to be as real and as true to myself as I can possibly be on any given day at any given moment. So that's a big part of my spiritual experience. The striving towards being a genuine human being, being true to myself and honest with myself, seeing things the way they are instead of the way I'd like them to be, accepting things the way they are instead of the way I'd like them to be. Boom, that's a big one. There's areas of forgiveness, whether that's towards myself or others, that are an aspect of spirituality that we all struggle with. It's easier said than done. People hurt us, or we experience hurt because of the actions, thoughts, and feelings of other people. And it takes work and effort to arrive at a platform of forgiveness when that happens. And then we let ourselves down and feel guilty and ashamed, and we have to learn how to forgive ourselves. That's a big part of spirituality. The daily commitment to mindfulness, doing things in a conscious manner instead of being led and driven by our compulsive behaviors or addictions. That's a huge aspect of spirituality. Functioning from a platform of consciousness 24/7. Maybe that's the very definition of spirituality, and maybe that's my goal each and every day when I wake up. Well, it's time for me to get to work. I just wanted to touch base with the world and talk about this state that I'm experiencing. It's like anytime I've ever gone on a vacation, you know, you go on your vacation and you arrive in this heightened state of awareness because of all the new experiences, everything, and you have a great time. Then you come back from that vacation, you go back to your day-to-day routine and your job, and I've always felt an emotional whiplash effect from that. You know, it's like postpartum blues or some damn thing where the real world, your normal existence is a bit of a downer. So I'm experiencing with this recent health crisis where I stared into the abyss and the abyss stared back at me, and not knowing if my very existence was coming to an end or not, I experienced heightened states of everything. And I survived it, and here I am, and back to work, doing my daily thing, and there's been a whiplash effect to it. And I'm grappling with that. I'm wrestling with that. And I'm going to just try to relax into it and accept it and deal with it in the most responsible manner that I can and make the best decisions I can minute by minute as I go forward here. I'm not feeling bad. I can sense a level of depression, I suppose, but it's not overwhelming. The whole experience has been overwhelming for sure, but I'll be okay. I'll move forward. I'm going to put these things into practice. I'm going to exercise my skills of discipline and the self-instruction that I give to myself that will manifest in healthy and productive outcomes. I will follow those instructions. That's my simple goal. Hey, have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.